In a narrow street in the oldest part of the city, there was a tiny shop filled with ticking sounds. Clocks covered every wall. Big clocks, small clocks, pocket watches, and alarm clocks. Gotcha. In the middle of this quiet music stood Mr. Elias, the old watchmaker. Every morning, he opened his shop at exactly 8 o'clock. He cleaned his glasses, put on his apron, and whispered, "Good morning time," as he turned the sign to open. People trusted him with their most precious watches. He often said with a smile, "Time is not just numbers. It is memories that learned how to walk." He was careful, patient, and never late. He lived by minutes and seconds. But one cold Wednesday, something strange happened. The morning began like always. Snow sat on the windowsill. The air smelled of oil and metal. Mr. Elias was fixing a little golden watch with cracked glass when he noticed something. The ticking in the room grew softer and softer, like a song moving away. He looked up. The clock on the wall showed 10 o'clock. He worked for a while and looked again. Still 10 o'clock. He frowned, checked another clock, then another. Every clock in the shop, from the loudest to the quietest, was frozen at the same moment. 10 o'clock. He listened for sounds from outside. No cars, no footsteps, no distant voices. The world behind the glass door was completely silent, as if someone had pressed a giant pause button. He opened the door. The snow was hanging in the air, not falling. A bird was frozen in mid-flight, wings open. A woman in the street was caught with one foot in the air, her scarf floating. Time, his oldest friend, had disappeared. For a long moment, fear rushed through him. If time has stopped, he thought, does that mean my life is finished? Have I reached the end without noticing? Without the usual ticking, he felt empty and lost. Then another thought arrived, quiet but strong. If time has stopped, there are no minutes to chase, no schedule, no hurry. Maybe this is a gift. He went back inside and heard the only ticking left his own heart. He sat in his old chair and looked around his shop as if it were new. He saw details he had not really seen in years. The small crack in the counter, the picture of his wife smiling from long ago. The child's drawing that said, "Thank you for fixing my watch." He realized how often he had rushed past these things, busy protecting other people's time. All his life, he had cared for minutes and seconds. But how much of his own time had he truly lived? He stood up and did something he had not done in a very long time. He made tea slowly, without checking a clock. He held his wife's old watch in his hand, even though it no longer worked. He opened a box of letters from his brother, who lived far away, and actually read them instead of saving them for later. There was no later now. There was only this strange, still moment. He began to write a letter of his own. "Dear Daniel," he wrote, "today something impossible happened. Every clock in my shop stopped. The street outside is frozen. I don't know if the world will start again. But I realized something important. I have spent many years fixing time, and too few years spending it with the people I love." When he finished, he felt lighter, almost young. He walked back to the door. A tiny flake of snow moved. Then another. The bird's wing slowly went down. The woman's foot touched the ground. Far away, a car engine started. Inside the shop, every clock jumped forward at the same time. 10 o'clock became 10 o'clock, and 1 second, time had returned. A customer opened the door, making the small bell ring. "Good morning, Mr. Elias," the woman said. "My watch is late again." For the first time in many years, he did not look at the big clock on the wall. He looked at her face. "Good morning," he replied, smiling softly. "Please sit. Tell me how you are." He listened. He gently opened her watch. He saw the tiny gears turning, and he thought of the hearts outside, all turning too, each with its own worries and dreams. He understood now. Time was not something he could control. It would always move, with or without him. But how he chose to fill his minutes, that part was still in his hands. Dear listener, maybe your days also feel like a line of ticking seconds, one after another, all the same. You look at the clock, check your phone, hurry to the next thing, and call it life. But if time suddenly stopped for you, what would you notice first? Which faces? Which memories? Which words still unsaid? You cannot freeze a whole day like the clocks in Mr. Elias's shop. But you can pause your own mind for a moment. You can put down your phone, look at someone you love, and be fully there. Thank you for listening to this story. If it made you think about how you use your time, please like this video. Share it with someone who is always busy. And don't forget to subscribe to Learn English with Stories for more calm, motivational English stories to help you slow down and live your minutes more wisely.